Morning, my friend.
Oh,
How are you today?
I am perfect, Carlos. How are you?
Doing perfect.
Yeah,
Sensational.
finally we're doing that conversation in public.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, kind of
So,
public.
I kind of just want to talk about whatever you want to talk about. I love hearing your thoughts, and sometimes we reciprocate most things, so it's
Yeah,
always fun.
yeah. It's funny that when I play soccer with you, that people speak with me Spanish,
Yeah.
and now I know a little bit more, so now people really think I'm Spanish.
It's the dark hair. If you have dark hair and scream a couple of Spanish words, people think you could pass for a Spanish guy.
Yeah, I think like now people are hearing us, two people with accent. Like, what do you think people will thinking about people with accent in USA?
Um, I think they're getting more used to. I don't think anybody is from a certain place. I've been in a couple cities like Philadelphia, Alexandria, and nobody is actually from those places. So the combination of culture has become very well known around these big cities. So I think accents are very acceptable. I think that we have crossed a big bridge in which we we only have certain cultures in certain places, but now nobody is actually where they live. They're from somewhere else, and people just keep moving. Even Americans, if you were born on the East Coast, you get tired and you explore California for a weekend or two.
You ever felt in all your experience in the USA, you came here when you was 12,
I was 14,
14,
teenager.
like when you came here from school, I guess you didn't know any English.
There was a big cultural barrier, mostly because of the English, but English is such a funny language because of the conjugations. But some things you don't conjugate. And I'll tell you a funny story. When I was in gym class, I think it
Okay.
was ninth grade. So you bring your gym clothes, change over your class. And the teacher looked at me. He's like, Carlos, why don't you have your gym clothes on? I'm like, I don't know English. How do I respond to this person? I know he's asking me about my clothes. So what I did was, I was like, okay, let me translate this in Spanish first. So my exact words were this: I don't remember. And he just looked at me like, what the heck is wrong with you? What do you mean you don't remember where your clothes is at? And one of the kids that was next to me, he kind of looked at me and he was like, Coach, I think what he's trying to say is that he just forgot his gym clothes. And I think that was really funny.
Yeah.
But it just goes to say that, you know, that was my first experience with English and getting it wrong and immediately realizing it, how to say it correctly.
Nice. And you ever felt like from the children in the school that because you are not originally from USA that you're a new guy, you felt like look about it different?
Maybe, maybe I don't know. I have no idea. I try not to focus on that because once you start focusing on what other people think, you lose focus of yourself.
Yeah,
So yeah,
that's good advice. Like the subtle out of don't give it a fuck.
yeah. The psychological factor of not giving a fuck is very big. It's very big where I come from.
In that moment, yeah.
In that moment, yeah, sure.
Yeah, it's like when I talk with my father about business and told him when I'm sitting in the meetings, I understand everything, but there is a lot of words that I never said before I came to USA, especially in the business industry. There is a lot of difficult words, different words. And then he told me, fuck that. Everyone wants to make money in the world. Everyone wants to do business. So if you just try to transfer the message that you're trying to say, they will understand and the deal will get closed. And I love that.
Yeah. Transfer the message. You said something very peculiar last week that the best degree is the testament,
Okay.
or you said don't cheat, don't steal.
The Ten Commandments.
Ten Commandments, correct.
Yeah.
So that's your business philosophy, and I think That's worth at least a bachelor's degree, just implementing that every day
Yeah.
on your business.
Yeah, I think the 10 commandments that you just say about that, it's the core values, in my opinion, that need to be in every person in the world. Because in the end, it's nothing better. It's not Jewish, Christian, Muslims. It's just to be human being. It's like in the Jewish religions, we say always, human being come before the Bible. Like you need to be a human. You need to be act like a human being, to be nice, to follow the Ten Commandments, and only after that you will be able to pray and to follow God. Because if you're not acting like a human being, you need to understand who you are before.
Exactly. So that goes back to the fundamentals.
Yeah, nice.
I have this very funny insult that I like to tell people. I think if I tell you this insult, I completely dislike you. I think you're going nowhere. This insult is I blame your parents, and because that's where you learn your fundamentals of things.
But it's that insult is true. I think parents have a huge part. Like I'll give you an example. My sister dated with someone that screamed on her, and she told him, "Why are you thinking you're allowed and you're able to scream on me?" And he told her in response, "My father screamed on my mom. So I see that it's like it's a real thing. I can do it." And she told him, funny, I don't gonna see you anymore. And they didn't date. Like it was like 7 or 8 maybe years ago. And when I heard that, I was like, what the fuck? Literally, what you see from your parents is how you're gonna react. And when I see my father always told me, you need to treat your woman like a queen until she feel a queen. And this is what I follow. In the same moment with children, like I think you're gonna educate your children and you will try to follow what educates you because this is what you know, this is what you saw.
Of course, you wanna. Yeah, I think people just have kids. Well, the ones that can afford a lot of kids, they have kids so they can turn them into like mini versions of themselves, but in a good way.
Yeah,
Because um,
those.
mostly people who have like a lot of kids, those are people who are usually made it in life.
Yeah,
So they kind of just wanna be like, oh, if I did this, maybe three of me can do a lot more for my future generations.
yeah. Maybe one day we will play soccer with Mini Carlos.
Maybe one day,
Yeah.
mini Jovels and mini Carlos.
Oh,
I would love to have 11 kids.
I
You
know.
just put them all in the same field and coach them up at the same time.
Yeah, the Hernandez team.
Yeah, man, that's correct.
Nice. So now I will take you for like step forward. When you joined the Marine, what make you to did that decision? Like why?
Honestly, a sense of adventure.
Okay.
I wanted to experience the world, not the way I see in movies, not the way that my parents told me, but the way I wanted to do it. Uh, there's this beautiful factor of serving your country and being loyal and patriotic and all that does bring a lot of sense of achievement and sense of um, being a part of something bigger than yourself. They tell you that all the time. You're part of something bigger than yourself. Um, but that's the reason I joined. I joined because I wanted to get to know the world and me in the process. I think the world has molded me. I would love to sit here and say, "Oh, I have gone to Syria, I have gone to Yemen, I have gone to Africa, and my personality grew." I know, but the reality is that completely different. All of these things have shaped me because they're bigger than me. All these big operations, they're bigger than me. So I'm kind of molding into them instead of me molding, them molding into me. So that is one of the reasons I joined.
Interesting. And when you joined and you went to the boot camp and everything, what was the first core value that the Marine teach you?
The core value, the core value of living in the moment. Because when as soon as you arrive to Marine Corps boot camp, you get put in these yellow footprints, and they have these big golden doors with the eagle of an anchor and the Marine Corps insignia in it. And they tell you once you're in this yellow footprints, and you go through those hatches, you only go through those hatches once and once only. And the only people who can go through these watches are Marines. And I think, oh, I'm never going to go through these hatches ever again. So I learned to, that very instant, I learned to value living in the moment. So that was the first lesson I learned in the Marine Corps. Live the moment because this is not going to come back to you. Enjoy it. It's going to suck, but enjoy it.
Nice. No, it makes sense. When I before I joined the army too when I was 18, and
Right.
before I joined the army, you are in high school. And in Israel, it's like high school is we try to do it like college, but it's not like college because you are younger and you don't know nothing about your life. But you try to party, try to enjoy after you get to your uni that you want because you work hard and you try to achieve and then you try to enjoy. But I remember that always my sisters told me, Yovel, enjoy that moment because it will never come back. And when you are fucking 18 and you just in the process, you say, fuck that. I just
Yeah.
want to be adult. I just want to be in the army. I just want to soldier. Then you join for the boot camp. I did the training progress. And then you're in the training progress. And then they told you, enjoy the moment. But how I can enjoy the moment? Every night does not sleep, train out as possible. They try to break you. You don't have your phone. And now, when I looking back about that, I miss that moment. I miss that moment that I'm struggling with my brother and we push the body to the limit.
Correct. Yeah,
And
those are always fun. Like pushing your body, and you're not suffering any more or any less than the person next to you. So that I think there's value to that.
there is sentence that say one day the struggle time in your life will be the most sweet moment that you will remember
Yes.
because
Yes.
it's like
That's a
it's
beautiful. That's a beautiful quote right there.
yeah, it's easy to enjoy and to be in the high level of your life with money, with everything. But when you struggle, when you every deal that you got closed, it's like make you be able to pay rent.
Correct.
That moment, it's amazing.
It's because it's earned. I have
Yeah.
a question for you. Well, I have a lot of. Well, I don't know much about Israeli and military. So when you're in high school, do you get to pick which job do you want to do? Like, you know, can you pick to be a machine gunner, or can you pick to be a camera operator, or a clerk, or can you pick your unit?
No.
Can you do those type of things when you're in high school?
So when you are in high school, you can only look and aim. You want. You want to be in elite forces. You want to be in special forces. You want to be in regular in the the military. You want to be I don't know something else. You able to aim. You able to try to be there, but you will like I think maybe 5% of the people that maybe less because we start 20,000 people to trying to be in the elite and the special forces. I think in the end, from my generation, there was maybe to 300 to 400 in all the units together in my age. And then you look about that, like we start 20,000 people that tried to be there, that wanted to be there. And then only 300 to 400 finished and joined there. And when I finish, it's like you have one day that try to break you mentally. And from that day, there is like in my day it's like 20, it's like I think 25 or 30 days that every day there is 500 people. They separate you for 25 to 30 people in a group. And in my group, you start to do the 10 first sprints. It's funny because in the first 10 sprint, people like collapse. Because I think from the nervous, from I really enjoy that. Like put me in a moment that there is pressure, like body pressure on me. I enjoy that. And I was ready for that shit. I train every day. And after that, there is when you pass the test, it's like 4 for 5 hours that try to break you. It's like between 1 to 4 people from every group pass the test. Then there is a weak test that is all the strong guys. You arrive there, you see everyone strong. You see, it's funny because you get dressed, you put the uniform first time in your life for that 1 week, and everyone take the shirt off and stuff like that. You see everyone like with abs, strong guys, looking good, like the best 18 guys, like the best teenager that age 18 that you ever see in your life. Separate you for groups. Okay, we start that week 500 people, and everyone they're strong. Everyone. The first act, it's called elephant sprint. Why? They give you so much equipment. You need to grab the equipment like that and do sprint with. You literally run with a kit bag like that with everything, and it's not easy. In that sprint, I remember like two people quit, and then you keep doing, and everyone really strong. But my rule, like my father always teach me, when you are with strong people, try to be try to dominate everyone. Like try to be the best version of yourself and your strongness, that you will be the leader of them naturally. And
That's interesting.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was my goal.
Okay.
So I say I'm gonna be first in every fucking sprint. And after 3 days, they kick like 28 to 25% of the people, and then they build a new teams. Remember, that was I stand next to right now. It was my friend in my squad, but in that moment, I didn't know his name. We stand one to each other. They talking about like the names, that name, that name. And in Hebrew, my name right that exactly like the name Yuval, but my name is Yovel. It's like sounds almost the same. And then he say Yuval is here, and then I say Yovel, and I correct him. And then you see like five people take the pen and write something in the notebook. For me, it doesn't bother me what they wrote because I know that I correct them about my name. Maybe it's right, maybe it's not right, but that's my values. Like if someone did mistake about my name, I will correct him. And that guy Andy Balata is become really good friend of mine. We was in the same squad 3 years, another 8 months in the war,
Mm.
another reserve and that stuff. And we got like great story from that 2 days of training.
Hmm.
And that moment, man, I miss that moment. I miss that you are like with a stretcher with a sand deal, huge sand deal, and you're not able to walk after like a week, that your legs are you don't feel your legs, and then no one able to change you because everyone breaking. And that's moment I missed.
Yeah, I bet. I bet. I was wondering, how long is selection for special forces in the Israeli?
So then after that week, they tell you which what you got, and then you got another test. Like now they try to see if your brain is okay and stuff like that before you join the army. All that is before you join the army, and then you join the army. You get the key for the car. You don't know if the car will arrive to the end because they can tell you every seconds, go fuck yourself. We don't want you anymore. That's literally like that. And the craziest part that people will remember that moment all their life. If you get kicked off from your unit, you remember that moment all your life, and you will live with that. So you try to not get to that point. And after a year, this between 1 year and 2 months to 1 year and 6 months, that's the training of the special and the elite forces. They tell you if you are in the unit or not. And there is people that got kicked off like 1 month or 2 months before. Like you are 1 foot in before the end zone, and I tell you, some big guy come and hit you, and you stay on the floor. That's the moments that killing people mentality.
Do you guys have peer evaluation?
What do you mean?
So for selection, you get graded on your physical attributes, your technical scores,
Yeah,
maybe exams or whatever, and then there's a third part, which is does your teammate believes that he can trust you in war?
yeah,
So I was just wondering if there is some type of peer evaluation in which maybe at the end they gather everyone around and they will pick the anonymously or publicly say, I will go with this war. I want this guy in. I will I will probably pass this guy. I will not pass this other.
Yeah, there it's happened I think twice in the year and a half, if I remember right. And you know what I prefer? I prefer the face-to-face conversation because every week you sitting all the squad together for open conversation, and everyone say about other people whatever they think. I really believe in that only after you try something face to face. Let's say you and me in the same squad. I told you something that you didn't wrong. That now we are in the training, but in the future, it's our life because we're gonna be in war. And then I told you that, and you ignore me. You told me, okay, okay, and you did it again. And I come to you again, brother. Like if you will not do it right, it's in the future can kill us. And you say, no, share, you're right, and you do it again. So if I try twice, I said the third time it's gonna be in front of all of the squad because I really believe to accomplish something face to face. But if you try and you don't achieve that, try to do it in front of all of the squad because we have the same goal. What is the goal?
Graduate.
Yeah, to kill the enemy, defend the country, and to back home to our lovers. That's the goal. And if someone fucks us and one of the goals will not be achieved, it's shit. Yeah, it's really shit. So then I try to accomplish that in front of the squad. If it doesn't work there, so I guess there is two options. Or that guy gonna kicked off from the squad if it's something big, or he gonna change his way and gonna get slapped in the face, or no one will want him in the squad.
I think there is two parts that you said that caught my attention, and those are training and war. I think a good team guy, especially for selection, uh, can I trust this guy to go to war? Yes.
Yeah.
But can I also be in the car with this guy on a traffic jam at 5 o'clock rush hour and have a conversation with this guy and not wanna, him not be there? I think if I'm going to war with with someone, I need to somebody needs to check those two boxes.
Yeah. No, that's true because people think that war is Call of Duty.
Yes.
It's Call of Duty
Oh wait, it's not.
in like it's only in this like let's say 24 hours you have a day, maybe 10 minutes of a day, it's Call of Duty. Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
You probably get a good 2 hours of glory. And you're probably running for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
That's how it is. You're running for an hour and a half and probably shooting for like 5 minutes.
That's the way. And my like when I look about the current war, my most experience was when I cover with my friend all the night and we just like whispering and talk each other really quiet because this is like 99% of war. And people think that in war, you are like always fighting. Yeah, you get almost every day RPG to the building. Yes, you fight and you shoot every day, but that's the moment that you remember the most. Yeah, yeah. When we talk about our friend that we lost in the war, like we remember the time that he listened to music, he play with some Game Boy that he bring with him. Like that was most of the moment.
What's
And
what's the funniest thing that you guys use as currency during during a battle zone, perhaps that wasn't necessarily money?
I don't I and we never play with money. I think it's different because when you're
Yeah.
in the army you get money. We didn't get money in the army.
What I meant to say is that at some point that you're still getting paid, you're getting hazard pay because you're in this environment, but you can't use your money. So what we did in my platoon and stuff, we'll grab Skittles or like cigarette and we'll use it as money. We just yeah,
Ah,
we just use that as currency. Or Firewatch was currency, so nobody wanted to stand Firewatch, so we just sell your firewatch away.
Interesting. No, I
Yeah.
think I don't have. I don't try. I don't have something like that in my mind. Maybe when we was in day to days, like was the Sony that we play FIFA, but there is not like something specific that I remember.
Okay.
I just remember the stories, and we laugh about everything. And the squad, yeah, that's something that you will always miss that. But when you're there, you just want to be home.
You
That's
just
so
want to be
funny.
home. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um, I think you speak of war more passionately than me, mostly because when I go to these hazard areas, um, I'm I'm a tourist. My family's still back home. Nothing's gonna happen to them. But you, that's your backyard,
yeah,
and I just notice your tone whenever you speak of war because this is happening in your backyard, honestly, in your neighborhoods. And how do you deal with that mentality? Because even if you take like a 2 month vacation from the army, you're still there. You're
yeah.
still home. Your house is still getting RPGs. Your women are still getting murdered. And how do you deal with that internally?
That's good question. But the first moment I understand that how important we are is was in 2019, when there was operation in the north that we tried to find tunnels of Hezbollah that running into Israel, that all the mission of them is make terror attack. And in that moment, so what we did, we kind of tried to find a tunnel, so we destroyed the border. And the big wall that was there all the time, that it's funny to think about that we fucking put big wall that just to keep our people alive, was not there. So we put soldier, they put like special forces like us to be there because you stand like the same exactly like distance that I stand from, like I said, from you. I stand maybe a little bit more from Hezbollah terrorist. And then you look about them, you look them in the eyes. They're human being, but they will want to do everything to murder you, to kill your family. I just want to enjoy my life. I'm 19. I was 19 in that time. I think he was that guy. He got family with children and everything, and he have more hate, and he ready to die more than me because he believed that I don't have the right to be exist. Me and my family. I stand there and I just got my first nephew. I think he was 1 years old in that moment, 2 years old. And before I went there, I talked with my sister, and she was next to him. And then I was thinking to myself, if I will not be here, if I will not stand here right now, that guy can go to my family house and slaughter everyone because it's happened in Israel. It's happened a couple of times and it still happened. And then you back home and you look about your family. I think I was there 45 days in a row. And I back home for one night between Friday, Saturday. And then you are home and you look about your family and I say, this is why I'm doing that. This is why I'm going there. And in the war in Gaza, just to understand, if you and me now were sitting in my parents' balcony, we will hear the bombs in Gaza.
All
We will
right.
hear the fights. It's like maybe, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 air miles from my house. People does not understand. It's Gaza and Tel Aviv. It's without traffic is less than an hour drive. Okay, less than an hour without traffic. It's crazy. It's like I think it's the same distance from Boulder to Denver.
Nice.
Okay,
Okay.
we're fighting only to be exist. IDF, Israel Defense Forces. But the biggest problem in the army, they always teach you how to go to war. They don't teach you how to back home. And when you are in the war, I remember the first time I went home. I went home. My ex-girlfriend told me, let's go to eat something. Let's go to eat. We drove to Tel Aviv. We see protest against us. People protest against the soldier, and that was my breaking point. I told her, let's go home. I don't want to. I can't be here anymore. It's pissed you off that people in Israel against you. Why? Because they there is like small group of people. I think there are less than 1% in Israel, and that they against the soldier, and they always make the most amount of problem.
Do
And
you
I,
think they have a right to protest at all?
if you protest against your country in your own country, in my opinion, don't have a right. If someone burn USA flag in the street, it need to be banished from USA. If someone burn Israel flag in the street of Israel's, it need to get banned from Israel. If you don't appear, if you don't love your country, don't be here. Don't be here. I don't want you. We don't want you. I don't want to try to sacrifice my life for people that hate me, that prefer me to get died. And you know the biggest story is some guy from Be'eri, kibbutz Be'eri, is one of the kibbutz that got really, really hit. He lost his son and his wife. That guy was one of the biggest supporter of Hamas, of Gaza. He said they are like, we need to give them, we need to help them, we need to open the border. And in the end, that guy that was one of the biggest supporter in Israel, all around the news, everyone know that that guy is like strong left. Now we say, the people that I helped them came to my house, came directly to my house and murdered my wife and my child. They murder them. The people, you know the faces. And then you think twice and you say to yourself, like, how I can trust them? They believe that we don't need to be exist here.
That is interesting. You also said about the enemy being close to you, so close to you that you could see them.
Yeah.
And these in the United States, you get taught as soon as you get into boot camp about unconventional warfare. You're gonna go there. You're not gonna know who your enemy is, but we will give you these tools to identify who your enemy is.
Yeah.
Can you identify the enemy, who your enemy was? Was it the Taliban or what? Who was it?
So in that moment in Lebanon, I knew the enemy because it was with uniform, but that was not in war. That was like regular day. In the war, you don't know who is your enemy because they don't have uniform. They can pull a gun whenever, like from everywhere. They can put a RPG. There is all the tunnels. The biggest problem in Gaza, people don't understand. Every square foot on the ground, there is 2 square foot in tunnels underground, and from everywhere you can be in a place, but after you check every corner in that fucking place, and there from nowhere you will get RPG to the building because they cover the tunnels, and they go up for a second, shoot the RPG, go down. Where is the enemy?
So who controls these tunnels?
There, the Hamas.
The Hamas.
Hamas got all the money that they got from the world. They build tunnels only to be ready to kill other people, to kill IDF.
Interesting. Yeah.
They are like rats. They are hiding there, and we're gonna get everyone. You saw what happened with Sinwar. You saw what happened with all the leaders of Hamas, of Hezbollah, Nasrallah. We will get them because we have the abilities, and now with Trump, I think we Israel have the full support. So yeah,
I mean, you got me.
Yeah.
If you have any help, I'll volunteer to enlist right now, and I'll help you out. We are allies, and we got each other's back.
my brother. Yeah, we train a lot with the Marines, and in the 7th of October, the Marine wanted to go. There was like 200 soldiers of Marine that wanted to go, and they didn't let them.
Oh yes, the Marines
Yeah.
are they're the different kinds of. You gotta be something wrong. It's gotta be in your head to wanna be a Marine because we want more. We could have joined. There's two kinds of people who join the Marine Corps.
Yeah,
Those who are about to join the Air Force and have a successful career, and those who couldn't get into the Air Force and they're gonna make the best career out of what they have, and that is the Marine Corps. The Marine Corps has that for them.
nice. No, yeah.
Yeah, people are a lot of times mistake me. Every time somebody knows I was in the service, they're like, "Oh, what branch?" I ask them to guess, and it's always you strike me either as a Marine or as a Air Force guy. So
Interesting.
it's very interesting how such a different branch can be very likely mistaken upon discharge. So I think that's very peculiar.
Yeah. What is the your strongest experience that you got in the Marine?
Uh, the most valuable experience, I will have to say, is to worry just enough. Don't make job a priority when it's not that, when you're with your family. Don't make family your priority when you are at work. To worry just enough. I remember I was in the rifle range. I never touched a weapon in my entire life until I got to the rifle range. I was very nervous. I was not shooting well. So I remember this very well. Sergeant Chick, that was his name. Big, small, little, chubby country guy with a dip in his mouth. Like, Hernandez, you gotta worry just enough. Stop worrying about doing it perfect. Because that was my biggest fear. I went to boot camp. I'm like, am I good enough? Am I gonna pass? And every single week, every single assessment that we did, I was just very scared of not passing. Until Sergeant Chick came up to me. He's like, worry just enough. So I applied that into my life, and I think that's the most valuable lesson I ever learned. Worry just enough for the subject in hand at the time. So, I know, like I said, like living the moment.
Yeah,
I think that's the best um, lesson I learned in the Marine Corps.
nice. I love that.
Yes,
No, it's important. Or just enough.
for the right thing
Yeah,
at the right time.
I think it's it for everything in life. Yeah, worry just enough.
Worry just enough.
Nice. So, what is the best advice that you can give for someone that wants to be in the Marine?
And the Marine, well, if you're in high school right now, I will say think about what you really want to do. It's okay if you don't know if you want to make it for a career. I did not make it a career, but I'm glad I did. Um, find a recruiter that you can trust, that he's going to be very honest with you, and start working out, eat well, sleep well, and read a book or something, because uh, physical physical endurance is not going to get you through boot camp all on its own. You need some kinds of brain.
Nice. And what you will give for someone that never been in the Marine, but he wants to get one core value to use it to his daily life.
The three main core values of the United States Marine Corps is honor, courage, and commitment. I will suggest pick all of those because they're all important for the foundation of the Marine Corps. So if you're trying to become a Marine right now, get familiar with those three values and remember that. Remember those values. Remember that when you're about to quit. And believe me, as soon as you start remembering your reason joining, when you're about to quit, you're gonna immediately, that thought is gonna just disappear. I promise you.
Yeah, I love that.
So honor, courage, and commitment.
So before we're gonna finish the podcast, there is some message, something that you want to say?
I just wanna wish every single American right now that is sensitive about the whole political situation with Donald Trump um, and the president of Ukraine. I just want to say that we are in good hands. I think that Donald Trump does have some very peculiar ways to deliver a message, but I think his message is right. I think he's smart. He has equipped himself with a good staff. He has a Marine as a vice president, actually, for people who didn't know that. So it's a pride for us to have somebody in office, one of us brothers. And what I just want to tell the American public is that we're going to be fine. And um, although it seems a little peculiar the way they're doing things, you can trust a Marine because a Marine's first mission is the one with this country. So I think this office, this group of presidency are gonna do a good job. I do believe that, and maybe I'm just being a little bit over optimistic, but I think that's the attitude that we should have as a country as a whole. Either you're Republican or you're Democratic. I think you should be optimistic that they're gonna do a good job, and let's hope for that.
Nice. And you have any other question to ask me before we finished?
If we were to do 3 sprints tomorrow, who would win?
Oh,
Best out of three.
there is best out of three. Easy. I don't need to give you the answer. You already know.
Say it.
I'm gonna crush you.
We'll see. We'll
Gonna
see.
be interesting. Yeah.
I'm okay with winning one. You can win
Okay.
two out of three, but if I win one, I can walk away happy out of that.
But in soccer, you crush me, so it's balance each other.
On soccer, you kick me, so we're not even yet.
Told you need to play with me, not against me.
Yeah, I need to play with you. Well,
Brother,
thank you, man.
thank
It's been
you.
fun.
I appreciate that.
It's been fun. It's been fun. It's been real.
Yeah.